Knull, my friend, you've always had this thing with power. I get it. Creating worlds, molding darkness, it's tempting. You stood there in the void, before everything existed, looking at light and thinking, nah, that's not for me. And boom, you went with darkness. Look, I'm not here to criticize your aesthetic choices. Darkness can be mysterious, it's cool and all, but that whole consuming light phase, that might be where things went off track. You see, creation isn't just about power or control, it's about life. You chose to twist your creations, like those symbiotes, into something that reflects your anger, your hurt. But you know what's stronger than any symbiote you could ever make? Love. Love is the ultimate creative force. And no, I'm not being cliché here. Hear me out. When you created those first symbiotes, what was the intention? To control, to dominate, right? The truth is, real creation, lasting, meaningful creation, doesn't come from control. It comes from allowing things to grow, to become more than you ever imagined. Your mistake wasn't in creating, it was in letting your pain drive what you made. Darkness is just the absence of light, Knull. You know that. But when you cling to it, you become exactly what you feared, empty. Think about it. Even the greatest rulers of old knew that controlling people through fear only lasts so long. They eventually crumble because deep down, they've built nothing that can stand the test of time. You can change that, though. You can build something that endures. You can use your incredible power for something good, something that will last far beyond your reign of terror. Let me put it this way. Light doesn't eliminate the shadows. It brings balance. If you really want to create, if you want to be more than just the god of darkness, then start by letting go of that need to consume everything in your path. That need for revenge, for destruction, it's holding you back, Knull. It's limiting your potential. You're a creator. But creators, the ones that make a real difference, don't destroy the light. They work with it. Here's a tip. Next time you think about creating something new, ask yourself, is this going to help others grow? Or is it just to show my power? If it's the latter, you might want to rethink your strategy. I know it's hard to change, especially when you've been doing things one way for so long. But trust me, there's freedom in letting go of the darkness. You can still be powerful, Knull, but in a way that doesn't drain the life out of you or those around you. And hey, maybe that whole sword thing, yeah, the all black, maybe it's time to, I don't know, put it in a trophy case or something. Not every tool of power has to be a weapon. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is let go of control. Create for the sake of others, not just to prove your might. Trust me, it'll feel a lot better in the long run. Knull, we need to talk about control, because you seem to have a bit of an obsession with it. You want to control everything, light, life, even your own creations like the symbiotes. And I get it. Having control can feel good. It gives you that rush, the feeling that you're in charge, that nothing can surprise you. But here's the truth. Control is a bit of a trap. You think you're in control, but in reality, the tighter you grip, the more things slip through your fingers. Look at your relationship with the symbiotes. You created them, sure, but then what happened? They broke away. They rebelled. They wanted freedom. And that's the thing about control. You can only hold on for so long before the very things you try to control break loose. It's like trying to hold water in your hands. No matter how tight you squeeze, it finds a way to escape. Let me tell you something from experience. Real leadership, real influence, isn't about controlling others. It's about guiding them, giving them the freedom to grow. Look at me. I didn't show up on Earth to control everyone. I could have. I mean, I've got the power. Let's be real. But that's not what real love or leadership looks like. It's about trust, not domination. You, Knull, you've spent eons trying to control everything and everyone around you. And where has it gotten you? A universe filled with fear, yes, but also one where no one truly follows you out of love or respect. They follow you because they're terrified, and as soon as they get the chance, they run. That's why the symbiotes turned on you. They weren't rebelling because they were evil. They just wanted freedom, Knull. They wanted to be their own beings. And you know what? That's not a bad thing. Here's a thought. Instead of trying to force control over the universe, why not try offering something that people actually want to follow? You're a creator, after all. You have the power to inspire, to build something meaningful, something that doesn't need fear to sustain itself. It's not too late to change, Knull. You can shift from being the guy who rules with terror to someone who leads with wisdom. Believe me, people remember that kind of leader. And while we're at it, let's talk about the universe for a second. You've been so focused on bending it to your will. But the universe? It's not something to be bent. It's something to be explored, nurtured. Every star, every world, every being, they all have a role to play. You've been trying to make it all about you, about your vision. But Knull, let me give you a little secret. It's bigger than you. And that's not a bad thing. The universe has beauty in its diversity, in the fact that not everything has to fit into your mold. You've been trying to cut down the entire forest just to make one perfect tree. But what if the beauty lies in the forest itself? So here's your tip. Knull, loosen your grip. Instead of trying to force everyone to do your bidding, why not show them the way? Teach them, guide them, but let them choose. I know it's hard. Letting go of control can feel terrifying, but it's the only way to find true peace. And believe me, it's a lot less exhausting than trying to keep the whole universe under your thumb. Let's talk about forgiveness, Knull. I know. Probably not your favorite topic, right? You've spent so long being this unstoppable force of destruction, it's hard to imagine you sitting down and offering forgiveness. But here's the thing. Forgiveness isn't a weakness. It's one of the most powerful tools you've got. In fact, it's more powerful than that sword of yours. I'm not just talking about forgiving others, although that's important. We'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's talk about you. Have you ever considered that maybe, just maybe, a lot of what's driving you isn't just anger at the universe or at the light, but anger at yourself? You've made some big mistakes, Knull. We both know that. But the biggest mistake you're making is not being willing to forgive yourself for them. I've seen it so many times. People who can't forgive themselves become their own worst enemies. They trap themselves in their own darkness because they don't believe they deserve anything better. Sound familiar? You keep lashing out, trying to consume everything because deep down, there's a part of you that feels unworthy of anything else. But Knull, you're not beyond redemption. No one is. And if you can learn to forgive yourself, you'll find that a lot of that anger, that need for destruction, it'll start to fade. Now, as for forgiving others, that's where real freedom lies. I know you're holding on to a lot of grudges. The Celestials, the symbiotes, the universe itself. But holding on to those grudges is like carrying around a bag of rocks. It weighs you down. It drains your energy. Imagine how much lighter you'd feel if you just let it go. I know, easier said than done, right? But forgiveness isn't about letting people off the hook. It's about setting yourself free. Take those symbiotes, for example. They rebelled, yes, but what if instead of hunting them down with that relentless vengeance of yours, you forgave them? What if you showed them mercy? That's real power, Knull. Not destroying your enemies, but transforming them, and in the process, transforming yourself. So here's your tip. Start small. Forgive yourself for that one moment where you let your rage take over. Then, work your way up. Forgive the symbiotes. Forgive the light, if you can. Trust me, the freedom you're going to feel is better than any control you've ever had. It's the kind of freedom that lets you walk in peace instead of always chasing your next conquest. And hey, while you're at it, maybe forgive the Celestials too. I know they didn't handle things well, but trust me, holding on to that grudge isn't doing you any favors. You've got the ability to shape worlds, Knull. Instead of destroying them, why not create something beautiful? I'm not saying you have to go full-on paradise mode or anything, but maybe, just maybe, you can use that power of yours to build something that lasts, something that people will remember, not out of fear, but out of awe and respect. Let me give you a tip. Next time you're about to use your power to destroy, take a second and ask yourself, what could I build here instead? It could be anything. A new world, a better relationship with your creations, a legacy that isn't soaked in blood. Power used for creation lasts. Power used for destruction, it fades. The real question is, do you want to be remembered as the one who tore everything apart, or the one who brought something truly amazing into existence?